Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, January 29th, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Neither staff nor the public are in danger of the asbestos located at the customs holding shed. This assurance comes from a senior official who spoke to SVG-TV News on concerns expressed by members of the public that the customs holding shed area was contaminated by asbestos. The senior official revealed that the relevant authorities in the ministry have been informed and are aware of the situation, and the matter should be resolved by the end of March. He said the area where the asbestos is located was evacuated since September last year, and the requisite precautionary measures are being taken. The customs representative explained that an entity within the government has been contracted to remove the remaining fragments of the asbestos at the shed. He assured the public that the holding area as well as the cargo shed was perfectly safe for business. Sir Gov Ballentine has praised the people of Fancy and prayed for the swift return to normalcy in his throne speech at the 5th session of the 9th Parliament. Sir Gov pointed out that the government was focused on restoring the lives and livelihoods of the vulnerable. He said the rebuilding process must never be taken for granted and called on Vincentians to remain unified in the rehabilitation process.
Tragedies such as these are difficult to comprehend. However, they serve as stark reminders that we need to draw closer to God and dedicate ourselves anew to serving Him. We must also live in deeper unity with each other, giving support to and drawing comfort and strength from our fellow citizens, while casting aside all the elements which seek to divide us.
The representative of the Queen revealed that there would always be vulnerability to natural disasters, but said the focus will be on risk reduction. He said the new National Disaster Management Strategy will be fully operational for 2015. He announced that the volcano plan was also integrated, and warehouses stocked with food will be established in areas such as Beckway, Union Island, Georgetown, and Rose Hall. The Governor General also explained that an upgraded communication system would be installed also to ensure a reliable network.
A new national emergency telecommunication system will also be installed, which will enable NEMO to create a network of radios throughout the country for use in the event of emergencies. These radios will be placed at health centers, police stations, and other public offices throughout the country. Ambulances and other government vehicles will also be equipped with mobile radios. Mr. Speaker, the emergency alert system will be enhanced with the completion of the Common Alerting Protocol CAP. In the initial phases of the implementation of this new alert system, radio data systems will be distributed to radio stations, which will then equip them to receive notifications of hazards and emergencies. The same will also be made available to government institutions and communities. This system is currently being installed and tested and will be fully operational in 2015.
Minister of Finance and Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has described 2014 as slow and problematic, with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, projecting a 1.1% economic growth for 2015.
For the year 2014, economic growth for St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been estimated at the very modest level of 1.1% by the recent staff mission of the IMF. This level of growth is essentially flat and problematic. The IMF project a further modest 1.5% real economic growth for 2015 and a more robust 3% economic growth in 2016, consequent upon the opening of the Argyle International Airport. The year 2014 has been a particularly challenging one for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, beyond the pre-existing limitations and challenges. The devastating storm of December 2013 which accounted for an estimated damage and loss of 330 million Eastern Caribbean dollars, or 17% of our gross domestic product. This storm hampered any hitherto anticipated economic recovery.
Dr. Gonzalez further explained that the strategic plan of 2013-2025 avoided commercial loans, which helped ease further costs in the economy.
Our government has avoided, save and except to the most minimal extent, the burden of financing public sector development through commercially based loans, especially those raised on the foreign money market. These in their totality have been the public policies since March 2001, which have driven our government and the Vincentian people on its balanced, enterprising, and strategic developmental path. These are the public policies which have been yet again enunciated with freshness and creativity in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines National Economic and Social Development Plan 2013 to 2025, which was unveiled just over a year ago.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Annie Eustace has described the people of Fancy as stoic in their grief. Eustace said the students who tragically lost their lives on January 12th at Fancy have taught the country the lesson to be more caring. He called on the nation to do all it can to continually assist the affected families. In response to the budget brought by the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, the opposition leader believed that the government was continually overestimating the budget and said he is concerned about the government's ability to achieve targets set for capital receipts. The South Leeward Rehabilitation Road project, which cost an estimated $22 million, is set to be on the right track. Those were the words of Community Communication Liaison Officer for the South Leeward Rehabilitation Project, Marlon Stevenson. In an update earlier with SVG-TV, Stevenson pointed out that progress is being made on all the road works. He highlighted that currently the excavation process is being conducted at the Big Bush area in Rillen Hill. Stevenson further stated that it has been a complaint of the residents in the area about the narrow roads.
In this particular area, the main complaint was the narrowness of the corner. The amount of money we spending, we had to get this right. So we acquired, this small piece of land on that side to make sure that we got this part. And this is one of the major features of the improvement works that we're doing.
While speaking, Stevenson indicated that the only major challenge to the project is at the area known as Shuffler, where work is being done to widen the road so as to provide a better driving experience for motorists.
What was expected was us to have a nice share benching along the way, but if you look a little down there, you notice that the banking is not as uniform as up at this side, and that is one of the things that's been causing a little delay. The banks keep collapsing, so what the engineers decided to do is just let nature take its course. They're going to leave this for a little while, and then we'll come back and see how it settles and make a determination what is necessary. Is it needed retaining walls? What are we going to do to make sure that the public has safety from this embankment?
The project has 7 key areas of focus. These include the hospital junction, where works would be done to improve the drainage system at the hospital, the Camden Park junction, which would see remedial work being done to accommodate the movement of containers, and excavation at the areas of Grand Gate, Dry Rock, Shuffler, Big Bush, the Buckerman Bay junction, and the area before the Layou police station. The project commenced on August 2014 and is set to culminate in May 2016. Meanwhile, Marlon Stevenson has commended the residents of the various communities for working along positively with them, stating that he believes the residents understand the benefits which will be derived from this project upon its completion.
A more modern era where we consult, we communicate, and we have had good negotiations with the persons who occupy property around the area. For instance, the property owner here, this is public property, but you see people occupying it. But we have been able to negotiate a very good settlement, how we're going to do things. And some of them, they will get some improvements. We have to move some walls because we're raising the road going down to the industrial estate. That road has to raise in order to catch the gradient coming around here. So, persons understand that there will be disruption, but we have not had any great difficulty.
Michael Charles, a resident of Bel Air, has been arrested and charged for money laundering. Charles is believed to have had in his possession the sum of EC $342,138 and Barbados $65,000. He now faces 8 separate charges of money laundering said to have occurred between January 29, 2009 and February 5, 2013. Beginning on February 1, 2015, the Methodist Church in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will celebrate Youth Month with numerous activities. For the past 16 years, the month of February has been dedicated to celebrating the youth of SVG. This year's celebrations will be held under the theme, Claiming Our Generation for Christ. Youth Coordinator for the Methodist Church's Kingston Chateaubelair Circuit, Katoya Duncan, says that the celebrations are guaranteed to uplift the youth of the nation and further went on to encourage them to attend the scheduled events.
The first event is the opening rally, march and rally, that would take place in Barley at the Curtains Hard Court. And the second event, which is the quiz, that would take place within the different zones in Kingston, Liu and Chateaubelair. The music and the dance and the drama will take place in the Kingston Methodist Church Hall in Kingston. We expect to see youth from our church, our different churches, performing in song and in dance. We're encouraging all young people also to come along and participate in our march as we go forth and claim our generation for Christ.
Meanwhile, Duncan is asking the young people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to humble themselves in the presence of God and to take advantage of the education opportunities that are available to them.
We say to the young people, young boys, it's time for you to put down the gun and the drugs. Young you, your hairstyle it's about humbling yourself before God and just forgetting about everything else and focus in school and get that education that you're entitled to.
A production to remember. That's some manager of Agape Performing Arts Theatre, Kevin Rodriguez, describes the company's upcoming production. The production is slated to take place in February at the Russell Cineplex. Rodriguez further invited persons to support the production, promising an enjoyable event.
7th of February 2015, the Agape Performing Arts Theatre will stage a production entitled After the Honeymoon. This is a play that was written by Steve Hyacinth out of Dominica, which will be staged by the Agape Performing Arts Theatre. And this production was staged back in November last year. And because some of our fans, they did not get to see this production, we are doing it for a second time on the 7th at the Russell's Complex in February. And believe it or not, this is a production that will have you going from beginning to end. As you know, Agape Methodist Dramatists, we have some of the leading theatre practitioners in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we're inviting you guys to come on out and support us on the 7th of February 2015.
Meanwhile, Rodriguez is inviting persons who will be in Kingston tomorrow for a special wedding of the 2 main characters. He commented that this will be a spectacle that simply cannot be missed.
The 30th of January, we have a motorcade that will leave Camden Park and we will come to Kingston, then we'll go to Calicut, then we'll return for a big celebration of the wedding of 2 of the characters, Thomas and Abigail. And following the wedding, what happens? We have the what? The honeymoon, which is the name of the production. After the honeymoon, which will be staged at the...
Residents of Richmond on the leeward side of the island are being called upon to assist in ensuring that the hundreds of young trees planted at the Richmond coastal area survive and thrive. Last week, over 100 trees were planted at the Richmond seafront as part of the Richmond Coastal Conservation Initiative. This is an integrated project in which the Police Cooperative Credit Union, the PCCU, partnered with Department of Forestry, the Richmond Vale Academy, and National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority in tree planting project which took place on Tuesday, January 20th. Over 100 species of fat pork, neem and sea grapes were planted as part of an initiative aimed at helping to prevent further erosion of the coastline. President of PCCU, Junior Simmons, said the event forms part of the Police Credit Union's schedule of activities as it celebrates its 12th anniversary. The celebrations are being held under the theme, The PCCU in Retrospect, Introspect and Prospect, building on a solid foundation. Simmons further outlined that the PCCU is happy to partner with the aforementioned institutions in putting defensive measures in place to mitigate further erosion at the Richmond beach, which has been battered by numerous storms over the years. Joel Poyer, forestry officer at the Department of Forestry, commended the tree planting project, adding that Richmond still allows Vincentians to carry out many traditional activities, such as fishing and tree catching. Meanwhile, Sarah Patterson, a teacher at the Richmond Vale Academy, said his institution was pleased to be part of the project and noted that the Academy has been planting trees since 2013 and has joined hands with partners throughout the world to plant 100 billion trees. The teacher at the Richmond Vale Academy highlighted the Academy's Moringa tree planting drive and its first place position for the smallest country which participated in the United Nations Tree Olympics. According to Patterson, the trees have been planted to avoid a similar occurrence as had happened in December 2013 when the road leading to the Richmond beach was severely damaged because there was not sufficient buffers to slow the water down.